I attempted to get fancy with cameras, and I have better luck with iPhones.
Do you really?
Yeah. Like they're just more stable.
Yeah.
Yeah, more predictable. So yeah, I'm gonna jump into some data, some stats, and we're just gonna fly high. We're not gonna really like land the plane and get into the details, because I'm gonna let my guests do that. So.
Yeah, makes sense.
Ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the Flathead Home Show. All homes, big and small, we discuss them all. My name is Justin Meccia. Happy weekend to you, friends. I'd like to say spring has finally arrived. There's no more snow in my yard. I don't know how yours looks. In fact, I already fired up the mower, and life is good. Life is good. I feel like an American now, riding my mower, cutting my grass, and finally feeling spring for the next couple of weeks that we get it. Anyways, welcome to the show, friends. We're going to launch a new series, and I've got some great guests planned over the next couple of weekends to help us unpack a few things. We're going to discuss the myths in the marketplace, and we're going to perhaps maybe support them or debunk them, right? What do we call it? Myth busters, right? Maybe that's what will happen, or maybe we'll actually discover that what you're feeling is actually accurate. So we're going to talk about these things. Before I get into the details, I want to thank my great sponsors, All About You Wellness and Aesthetics, and Montana Basement Solutions, solving your water and mold problems for good. So here we are. It's 2024. We're over a quarter of the way through the year, and we've had a lot of real estate transactions happen. And every time something happens in the world of real estate, this guy watches it, and several of us watch it. We look at it, we assess it, we ask questions like, what's going on? We want to understand the metrics of our marketplace. Because in my position, I train and coach several agents. We've launched a brand new independent brokerage at the top of this year, Ideal Real Estate. Yeah, I'm going to plug it. I can do that. And it's great because we're growing rapidly. We cover 2 states. So we're in both Montana and in Washington. Don't worry, friends. We're HQ'd in Montana, baby. Right? So here we are. Although we have more agents over in Washington, just a population difference. That's all it is. What's cool about that though is we have our eyes across the Pacific Northwest, and believe it or not, whether we want to admit this or not, that marketplace influences this marketplace and vice versa. Real estate really doesn't have boundaries. Yeah, you have boundaries on your plat map. You have boundaries when you buy your piece of land. However, as far as trends go, the trends they're not scared of boundaries. They're not like, oh, it's Montana, we got to behave differently. The interest rates are the interest rates, and the sale prices are the sale prices, right? So we're going to discuss these things, and we're going to get into the myths of the real estate marketplace and crack them open to discover whether or not there's truth, whether or not there's validity, or whether or not that's just hocus pocus and maybe just feeling. What I have for you this weekend is a little bit more general because I'm going to leave it up to my friends to get into the nitty gritty and the specifics. For example, I've got a great lender coming back to the show. She was here some time ago. I'm excited to bring her back, and we're going to discuss what myths are showing up in her world and how they may influence the sales price and the real estate things. I've also got an appraiser, great friend of mine who's been on this show before, coming back, and he's going to discuss a couple of things in his world too. So ultimately, over the next few weeks, we're going to crack open several myths, friends, and I suspect some of them are going to be true. And I believe most of them, though, are going to be inaccurate, and we're going to discover what that means. So let's take a look, though. What happened so far this year? If I were to tell you that this year to date, as of this weekend, we have sold in Flathead County, we have sold 455 homes or let me specify, simply just real estate transactions, residential real estate transactions. That includes land, that includes condos, that includes homes, that includes mansions, that includes shacks, right? And everything in between. 455. What does that mean to you? Is that high? Is that low? How does that compare to last year? We like to look at that oftentimes. Like, what does that mean? Like, how does that compare to last year? Well, last year, that number was 458. So we're neck and neck. I mean, the difference is negligible. How does that compare to 2021, the year that begins with and sounds like and smells like bananas? Because that was a banana year. Yes, we keep the show PG, Matt. I know you wanted to think something else. 767. Okay, so not quite double, however, a number considerably higher, right? So 455 is our total transaction count, residential real estate in Flathead County for year to date, 2024. Very much the same as last year, 2023, 458 was the total count, 767 if we go back to 2021. I like to go back to 2019, right? And I don't prefer to use this word. I just can't think of a better one. The last normal year, right? The normal year. Although when we zoom out far enough, friends, perspective, when we zoom out far enough, was 2019 really normal? Well, I'll ask our lending friend, when she comes in, if that's true. We're going to bust that myth open that weekend. However, let's just go on the surface. 2019, the total closed transactions residentially in Flathead County, 546. So about 100 more, 101 to be exact, in 2019 versus this year. So that being said, are we slowing down? What's going on? Is this a recessed marketplace? What is happening? Well, let's talk about it a little bit more specifically. I've got to take a break, though. We want to hear from our great sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to discuss the sales prices. We're going to discuss how those sales prices moved, if they did at all, and how long it took to sell those pieces of real estate to understand the market a little bit more. My name is Justin Meccia. This is the Flathead Home Show. We're talking about myths in the marketplace, and we'll be right back. Yeah, okay. Number crunching. How do you feel about that, Matt?
That was good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, 455, does that sound high or low?
That sounds high.
Yeah. I mean, that's
a lot.
That's more than one a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
All right, ready to come back? And we're back. It's the Flathead Home Show. We're discussing all homes, big and small. We discuss them all. Actually, we're talking about myths in the marketplace. Are they real? Are they valid? Or are they fake? You know, are they a Kardashian? Or are they? I'm not going to go there. Never mind. Last segment, I shared with you that so far, year to date, residential closed transactions in the Flathead County, 455. How does that compare? Well, last year, this time, 458 was the number, so pretty much the same. Okay, let's look a little bit deeper, though. Talk to me about sales price, Justin. The median sale price year to date so far, 2024, Flathead County, $578,625. $578,625. How does that compare to last year? Well, it's a little down. 580 was last year. So difference is still negligible. We're basically having a copy-paste year from 2023 to 2024. And I'm going to get a little opinionated here, friends. That saddens me just a little bit because 2023 arguably was a harder year in real estate for both the buyers, the agents. The sellers felt it a little bit less than both the buyers and the agents. However, should this trend continue, the sellers are going to begin to feel it a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Here's why. Because our interest rates have gone up. They're higher than they were this time last year, and yet we sold the same amount of real estate. So that means we're doing it anyways, and that translates to it's harder, okay? And what I mean by that is it's not hard to move from a big market into a small market. It's not hard to do that at all, right? You can, and let's just call a spade a spade. You could sell your house here and move to Georgia and live really well. Because what you can buy in Georgia, or better yet, Missouri, what you can buy in Missouri and what you can buy here are not the same. Not apples to apples. It's more like apples to apple cart. Like you can get a whole lot of apples for cost of just one apple here. The dollar doesn't behave the same across the borderlines. Even though real estate likes to transcend borderlines, the dollar behaves quite a bit differently. So that being said, and you know what? This guy has personally helped people make that move. Not that I encouraged it, because I like my friends to stay in the Valley. I've seen it happen, though. And several of my friends have left the Valley because they could sell here and live like kings and queens there. And they do. In fact, quite a few of them don't even carry mortgages anymore. That's impressive for them being in their 30s. Yes, think about that, friends. That's also showing up. Okay. Let's move back a little bit further, though. 2021, what did we see happen? Well, let me go to 2019. I referenced it last segment to the last, quote, normal year, although we're going to discuss that myth. Is that a myth? Was that normal? We'll discuss that with our lending friend. In 2019, we saw 546 transaction close. Median sale price, $315. Yeah, that's what we all feel, right? $315 was the median sale price in 2019. Here we are 5 years later, and it's not quite double. However, it's almost double. And at 500, let's just round up, 580,000, okay? What happened in 2019? Well, it took about 106 days, that's the median days on market, to sell a home. Today, that number is 94, behaving very much the same. Okay. Interestingly enough, in 2021, the banana year, 65, right? So just about like less than half, a little bit more than half the time it took to sell a home in 2021. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that's probably a record year. Probably a record year as far as speed goes. Not a surprise, not a myth. We all know, we all saw it. Everything was moving at the speed of light. And some of us are thinking, wait a minute, 65 days? No, Justin, it took a whole lot. I sold my house in 5 days. You probably did, except for that's including the escrow period, right? And this is also median, right? This is factoring in everybody, right? This is saying like the $5 million house on the hill that took, a little bit longer than the $300,000 house downtown, right? So this is taking all of those numbers into account. If we were to look at the marketplace through the lens of your real estate, those numbers could be very different. That's a fact. Here's interestingly, though, this is showing the whole trend. 2019, on average, we sold a home for about 97% of its original list price. Okay, so what that means is if you saw a $100,000 house, it's going to sell for typically $97,000. It's going to move about 3% off of its price. This is a very important number for you to understand, buyers, because a lot of us like to think, oh, the sale price, I'm going to have to get into a multiple offer and bid higher than the sale price because we felt that pain in 2021, right? Or some of us are thinking, oh, sale price? Well, I'm going to lowball them. I see it for $400,000. I'm going to offer $250,000, right? Because that'll move it. No, it won't, right? Because here's the number. You can expect to move in 2019. You can expect to move about 3% off the sale price, according to the data. In 2021, how much could you move? None, because the average was 100. That means many of them sold higher, right? So multiple offers, higher than list price. We all understand, not a myth there, Justin. I get that. I was there too. In 2023, last year, we moved about 6% off the price. This year, that number's less, 4%. So far, year to date, we've moved about 4% off of our original list price. What does that mean, friends? Well, let's just recap. Our prices have come down just a little from last year. It's taking us about the same amount of time to sell a home as it was last year. We've sold the same amount of homes as last year. And we're selling for about the same amount off the list price. Welcome to the shelf. We've gone up. We've flatlined. Okay, welcome to the shelf. Is this a correction? We'll discuss it over the next couple of weeks. What it's not, though, is a decline. Okay, we've not seen that yet. Okay, so we'll continue to watch this and we'll continue to discuss this. And when I bring my friends to the table, we're going to have even more robust conversations. I hope you had a good time and I hope that we've brought some clarity to you. This is the Flathead Home Show. All homes, big and small, we discuss them all. My name is Justin Meccia. Be safe, be well, have fun. And of course, as always, hey, Flathead, welcome home.